Good morning to all. Welcome to my channel. Today we will be discussing very important concept under cost accounting, that is standard costing. Before going for this discussion on standard costing, we will be explaining what is the term standard, then standard cost, after that standard costing. See, the word standard is very famous, very important, very habitual for all people, because कोई भी एक whenever we will be going for purchasing anything or something, we have to say मेरे को I will need this standard, that standard when any product or any item. So standard means that is uniformly acceptable, one level, one quality. Standard means quality, standard means satisfaction, standard means mindset. In case of any product or any item that is standardized in the sense it will be uniformly fit and acceptable. That means, to take an example, if you see the tire of a cycle or any car, if you see that diameter being the same, irrespective any of the units produce that tire or tube, if the diameter doesn't same, then it cannot fit in that tire. There are so many companies in the market for producing that tire or rim, etc. But the diameter all over the world will be the same. Otherwise, it will not fit in that system. Similarly, in case of your dress also, when a ready-made garments you purchase, one standard size product they will give that. If your height is 5 feet 3 inch to 5 inch, all dress materials will match. Except very small and very taller people, for them they will have to prepare separately, or they will have to make their own to fit that, or otherwise it will uniformly standardize. That means standard means one way it is an average, it is a common, like this standard concept is there. So now we are coming that what is the standard cost. Before going to standard costing, standard cost is a predetermined cost. Predetermined cost means we have a mindset, we have to select a standard for that particular product. Suppose this duster, we will make in our mind that our standard cost should be 10 rupees. So that means our production should be for this duster within 10 rupees per unit. We have to make it for that. That means once we are talking about that predetermined cost, this is an estimate. In advance, this is an estimate. You can call as a plan, you can call as a budget also. Budget is nothing but an estimates and in advance. Used for scale reference. You see, whenever we will be talking about standard, it has some scale. What is the meaning of the standard? What is the level? That activity level, that is called the scale. Next point is coming, your compared to actual cost. You see, whenever we will be discussing with any standard in reference to costing, always we will be thinking with the comparison with the actual cost. Without the comparison of actual cost, no standard costing concept has no validity. To determine variances, standard cost with actual cost, that variances we have to know that. To measure the productive efficiency, that is very vital. Unless and until you set a standard, you will not be knowing. Suppose this duster we are talking, it can be produced at 10 rupees, it can be produced at 12 rupees, it can be produced at 15 rupees. Unless otherwise you fix a standard or predetermined set, you cannot determine your sale price. As you know that today's market is the buyer's market, it is not the seller's market. Whatever you want you cannot sell, you cannot fix your price. You have to depend on the market. So according to the market demand, you have to fix your rate. So for that purpose, measure of a production efficiency and cost control. Suppose if your cost is more than standard cost, then if more major variances are there, you have to think that some of your system, some problem is there. It can be your material deficiency, it can be your machine deficiency, it can be your trained manpower problem. So many level. If you go in the in-depth analysis, you will get that where the problem lies. So for that measurement of productive efficiency and cost control, you have to state a standard. Now we have to come to what is standard costing. Standard costing, generally it is an accounting system. This will be used by manufacturer organizations to identify differences or variances between actual cost of production of goods versus the cost that should have occurred for the produced good. That means cost actually should occur and the actual cost for that produces. What should have been and what happened. So this is the difference between the two. So this is standard costing ka basic concept is there. Now we will be discussing that what are the uses of standard costing system. You see, in case of our valuation of inventory and cost of production, for the cost of accounting purposes, the standard costing technique is we can implement that. It is an alternative to method of valuations to methods like FIFO and LIFO method. We know that first in first out method and last in first out method as our stock valuation purpose, we will utilize that for stock issue stages. So this technique, that standard costing technique, also is an important to an alternative to LIFO and FIFO method. So now we have to go little in depth of the standard costing concept, because this is a very important tool of your management decision under cost and management accounting system. So what are the other areas of your standard costing? Standard costing, you will be knowing that for control devices, see, control mechanism you have to develop, and variance analysis, that we will be discussing in the next video. Now standard costing in general used for average unit costs, actual results vary with standards. Actual unit cost, actual results vary with standard. You see that. See, always you cannot fix a standard in toto. So it will vary. But what level of variance? So that we will be seeing for this thing. So that is the standard costing technique. It is a benchmark for comparison. See, it is an yardstick rather also. Yardstick मतलब आपको एक predetermined rate fix कर दे रहा है. So whenever you will not give a predetermined rate, you never be able to compare with the actual, unless otherwise you compare the actual, and if you don't make a predetermined cost, you cannot control your efficiency, or otherwise you cannot control your inefficiency also. Next alternative is the standard costing with the management by exception. This is a very important concept. MBO, management by exception. See, you see that management exceptions, how will do that thing? Standard cost, actual cost. So you have to variance, you have to make it standard cost minus actual cost, variance. So you see that whether that variance, that difference is how it is significant or insignificant. If it is so significant, you have to analyze and investigate. You see why this significant concept is there? You see that your standard variances, your product, you allow that 5%. 5% variance or tolerance, whatever way you can call this thing. If it is say suddenly 10 to 12%, you see that your cost of productions, why it is going up. You have to think that some inefficiency in your process, either your material pilferage may be there, lost हो सकता है, this will be there, and your workers may not be trained enough, your machines are not running properly. There are so many processes are there. If you go in the identification detail, you will be see more effectively for standard costing system. So आज के लिए इतना तक हमने जो स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग का डिटेल्स डिस्कशन कर दिया. सो वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग फॉर दिस स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग विद वेरिएंस एनालिसिस. यू नो दैट without variance analysis standard costing chapter will not be complete enough. So today we will be ending this video here, and next chapter we will be taking this thing problems with for your standard costing and variance analysis, how we will be doing for these things. आज के लिए इतना तक. Have a good day.